Hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to give you a list of 8 things that we all want to see return back to career mode for FIFA 20. Yes, today I am bringing you a list of things that were in FIFA career mode that made the game mode so good in the retro FIFAs and back in the day that were removed by EA for some unknown reason, and it would just be so good to have them back. It would be easy as well. You don't even have to be that original, just literally copy something that was on your previous games, boys. If you go on to enjoy the video, slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it massively helps me out. And if there's any others that you can remember, any other features from previous FIFA games for career mode, drop them down in the comment section below if I don't mention them, or conversely, the stuff that I do mention in this video, what was your favourite? What feature really needs to return, in your opinion, from the previous games? Without any further ado, let's get into point number 1, and it's backroom staff. Now, this is like a huge part of games like Football Manager. Having a really good backroom staff can influence so many different aspects of the game, and would you believe it used to be a part of FIFA career mode as well? I'm talking the PlayStation 2 days, basically before FIFA 10. I want to say it was removed ahead of FIFA 10. It might have been in FIFA 10 as well, but it certainly wasn't in the game when most people made the transition onto next-gen consoles. So, and I don't really understand the reasoning for it, if I'm gonna be honest with you. It added so much to the game. Basically, for those that don't know, you used to be able to upgrade stuff like your assistant manager, your stadium manager, your youth scouts and stuff. Obviously, you can upgrade youth scouts now, it's a whole separate entity, but upgrading assistant managers and stadium managers would be so good, and it could even be added upon. You know, you could have physios and stuff, and they could have then impacts on your career mode saves. So if you increase your stadium manager, for example, your stadium will actually grow in size. You might get a bit more revenue when it comes to ticket sales, etc. Or if you have a better physio, you might see your players return from injury a little bit sooner. Have a better coach or assistant manager, you might see your players grow a little bit more when it comes to training. Don't just have them for aesthetic purposes, because I can see already the cogs would be whirring. Yeah, let's just put backroom staff in because it's a cool thing. It would have to have some sort of impact on career mode, and I think it would be very easy to do that. That is one that I would definitely like to see return. Number 2 is a bit more of a recent removal, and it's got a lot of people's heads being scratched, if that's even really the way of saying that phrase. It isn't the way of saying that phrase. I realise that now on reflection. That isn't the point though. My sentence structure is the least of my worries. Requesting funds is what I'm trying to allude to. This was removed, I think, out of FIFA 17. Again, for those that don't know, you used to be able to ask the board for more money, literally. You used to be able to say, right, okay, so my current objective is to finish mid-table in the Premier League. I believe I can finish in the Europa League spots, but in order to do that, I want you to give me £8 million as a transfer budget, and then that would enable you to go out and buy a new player. Now, what I will say is, this was definitely missed more in FIFA 18, because the budgeting system on FIFA 18 was absolutely cataclysmic, and you'd get about £3 million to spend as Manchester City every season, which is just disgraceful. It used to ruin every career mode save ever. At least on FIFA 19, they've made it so you can earn more money from the previous season based on how you did. However, it would still be nice to have that little bump in January if you are overachieving. You know, if you know you're gonna beat your current objective, why not bump it up? You know, it could even work with more than just the actual league objectives. You could even do it on stuff like brand exposure. If you know you're gonna beat, you know, you're gonna slap that out of the water, you might as well get a bit more of a bonus in terms of money for it. Number 3 is sponsorship. This used to be a thing up until FIFA 10. You used to be able to, at the start of a career mode save and at the start of every single season from then on in, you get offers from sponsors, from real companies at first on FIFA 06 and FIFA 07, but after that it was unlicensed ones and made up ones by EA. I understand the jump from real ones to made up ones. I imagine it was quite a lot to have licensing for stuff like T-Mobile and BT, when in reality all they were doing was they wouldn't even appear on the shirts. You know, they were just behind the scenes sponsors, and it's quite a lot of money to get licensing for things like that then won't even actually appear on the shirts or the kits or whatever. So I get that, but even having made up sponsors would be absolutely incredible. Just behind the scenes, they'd maybe then appear on the stadiums or whatnot. And it's also another way of adding more money to the situation, getting more in terms of a transfer budget. And it's also just something else to do off the pitch. Quite often I find myself on career mode, playing a game, simming through seasons and stuff, and there's so little to actually do behind the scenes in the actual running of the club, which is ironic given that EA literally added a feature called Total Club Management in FIFA 17. Number 4 is short and sweet, really. It's just a clause for contracts for signing players, but it's always confused me as to why it was removed as well. And this is the loan to buy option when you're bringing in a player. I honestly could not tell you why this was removed at all. It's almost like they just forgot to put it in one game, and then we're like, oh, okay, we'll just leave it out. Because it's not going to save you on memory, it's not going to save you on resources, and it was actually a very useful feature. It's not like people said, yeah, we don't ever really use this. It was used all the time. Any time I loaned in a player, I always stuck a buy option on there just to try and be cheeky and see if I could get a good deal out of it. It's a commonly, very, very, very commonly used clause in real life, so I think that needs to be brought back. In addition to that, there needs to be more clauses, just generally speaking. Buyback clauses is another one, or a buyback clause even is another one that I would like to see. But yeah, loan to buy option, which I think was removed ahead of FIFA 17 as well, that really needs to return. Number 5 is one that many people definitely won't even know existed. If you're new to the FIFA franchise, if you only started playing career mode from maybe FIFA 11 onwards, you absolutely will not know what this is. And it's internal memos, and I'll explain them to you. Basically, these were scenarios that you could try and answer during the course of your career mode. I'll tell you what, I'll explain it in the journey sense, okay? You're with Alex Hunter, something's about to go down, and you've got the option to either be fiery, cold, or just in the middle. Internal memos were basically that, but for career mode. It was amazing. So you could get a question or some sort of scenario would happen. I don't know, your players would be invited to go down to the local hospital to say hello to the kids down there, right? And you could answer in one of 3 different ways. And then whatever you actually say would then impact stuff like board confidence, fan confidence, which I'll come on to in a moment, and also player morale and stuff like that. Once again, it's just another thing to do off the pitch. It was such a good thing. Number 6, I did allude to it a moment ago, but fan confidence, along with player confidence and a bit more of an impact in terms of morale as well. Fan confidence was present on FIFA 08 and FIFA 07 and FIFA 06. It was basically banded together along with board confidence and player morale to decide whether you had the job or not. At the moment, the only factor that determines whether you keep your job or not is board confidence, and the actual fan confidence has nothing to do with that. There should be another fan confidence element as well, which is determined maybe by your style of play or the players that you bring in. Stuff that influences their mindset more than just the financial side of it, which is how the board should operate, and also objectives as well. Number 7 is the return of visual sim. Oh my life, this was amazing. I really, really want this to return, okay? So I'll picture the scene again. I think, again, this was removed ahead of FIFA 10, or maybe FIFA 09, something like that, but it was in really old school FIFA games. And you could, you can obviously play games and simulate games these days, but there was a third option on really old career modes to do visual sim, and it's basically, it would work how Football Manager does on mobile, so you'll get like a little score indicator, and little bars would come up telling you what's going on each minute of the game. So anytime there was a highlight, anytime there was a chance, it would just sort of tell you what was going on and be like, oh, goal, something's happened, blah, blah, blah. But you could also intercept at certain points during the game. So if you were losing 2-0 in the visual sim, you could press a button, and then the next time the ball goes out of play, you jump into the game and start playing it from there. It was brilliant, and it was also a way of getting really detailed stats of what was going on in the game. Visual sim, you'd get like possession and all sorts of other detailed stats along with that as well, plus the ability to jump in mid-game. It was just so good. Bring it back, for the love of God. And then finally, number 8, the ability to see every player's overall. I know it should be a choice to have GTN scouting. Personally, though, I would like to see it scrapped completely. I know it's realistic that you'd have to go and, actually find out how good a certain player is, but it doesn't actually make sense, okay? There's no way, right, my scouts don't, for instance, know who Matthijs de Ligt is. If I go to look at this guy, right, probably, I think he's the most high potential defender on the entirety of the game. My scouts know nothing about him. It would take them 2 weeks to find out anything about him. They will know, they're scouts. It's their job description to know who young players are. It's their job description to know more about players than I do. I would know more about Matthijs de Ligt from watching him on the television than my in-game scouts on FIFA. Make it either easier, okay, so your scouts know more about more players, or just give us the option to get rid of it completely. I just want to see everybody's overall like you could on old school FIFAs. I think it was FIFA 14 they introduced GTN scouting, but before that you could search for anyone, you could see all of their overalls and everything, and it was just a lot easier for everybody. That then wraps up the 8 things that I want to see return for FIFA career mode for FIFA 20. If there's any other old features that you want to see back in the game, drop them down in the comments section below, and hopefully we'll get a couple of these added to FIFA career mode soon, because if they could have been done 10 years ago, they can definitely be done now with new console, a next gen or current gen, even console technology. It can't be difficult if it was done on a PlayStation 2. If you enjoyed this video though, slap a like on it, subscribe if you are new to the channel. It's the big red button under the video and it massively helps me out. You can also follow me on social media these days too. My Twitter and Insta are @theofficialfng and links are down below. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a great day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Is it me?